All right, we are on the air, season 2, episode 7, The Loose Lug Nuts. It is Vegas, baby! Vegas, baby! Before I bring in my co host, I want to take a moment and wish all of the amazing women out there a happy International Women's Day. So, today is International Women's Day. So, all of the amazing women out there, this is to you. I salute you. Thank you for all you do. You are truly amazing. There are many of them out there. The best one I know is my dearly beloved sister. She can do anything. She can fix things that are broken in your house. She can raise your kids. She can run your office. She can do anything. She's truly amazing. So, big shout out to my sister. So, speaking of amazing, I am joined by two amazing co hosts, Aaron Simmons and Zach Brandevold. How are you folks doing this evening? Let's start with you, Aaron, since you are closest to me. How are you today?
Doing all right. Doing all right. Just I've been applying for new jobs the last few days, and and I'm still trying to, I guess, have some feedback from employers to see kind of where I'm going to be fitting because gas is expensive right now, and I am driving like half an hour to work, to and from work about every 5 days, and I drive a truck, so it is a kill shot on my bank account, my wallet, and so I'm trying to find something a little bit closer to home, and so that's been an absolute process. And really, besides that, just trying to cook the house and just living life.
All right, well, good luck. If anybody in East Tennessee is paying attention here, this guy, give him a shot, hire him. He's diligent, he's smart, he's hardworking, he's responsible, he's everything you could want. Give this man a shot, give him a job, hire him. You will be glad you did. Speaking of people that are working for a living, Zach, you've been pretty tired the last couple of shows. That
Yeah.
JOB thing is not much fun, is it? But how are you this evening?
It's not. I'm in the same boat as you. I drive for about 30, depending on traffic, 30 to 45 minutes to work every single day and back home. And it's about to get worse because they shut down a bridge near us. So I'm not living life.
Nope.
It's around 419 where I live, so it's definitely not good. But
Okay, but wait a minute. You're Charlotte, so like 30 to 35 minutes. That's probably like what, 8 miles?
No, it's about 18 miles, something like that. I don't know. I can't remember off the top of my head, but anyway, all I know is the minutes. I count them down every single time. But no, my weekend was pretty good. Made some ribs and watched the Cup race on Sunday, so those were delicious. And I had myself a few beverages of choice. But it's nice to be back with you guys. I know today is. I know that today, every day that I get on the podcast is close to being midweek. So I know when I wake up in the morning, I only have 2 more days of work left besides Wednesday. So it's always good.
All right, we got Earl tuning in. We got Adam. We got Mike. We got all the usual suspects. Thank you, guys. First up on the agenda is the truck race, and that is going to be my baby. So I'm going to take you through the truck race. And really, when I'm talking about the truck race, it starts, the middle, and it ends with Kyle Busch Motorsports. Okay, they absolutely had the dominant trucks at Las Vegas. They started 1, 2, 3. They ran up front the whole race. They finished first and third. Okay, Chandler Smith grabs his first win with an incredible restart. I think they restarted with 3 laps to go. Other things Chandler Smith, because we had a Chandler Smith and Zane Smith battle, and all my notes say C Smith or Z Smith, but it was Chandler Smith driving for Kyle Busch Motorsports. Todd Bodine at 58 years old got behind the wheel and drove a truck for the first time since I don't know when. It did not go well for him. Todd Bodine had a rough night. He didn't finish the race running. 2 spins and a pit road speeding penalty. That was Todd Bodine's night. So I think Todd Bodine is ready to go back to the Fox studios and commentate on the races. I think he probably had enough. But Chandler Smith, I believe that was his first win. Great restart. 3 laps to go, I think, is when they restarted. He gave his boss, Kyle Busch, huge push, then abandons him and goes to the high side to get around him. So that's kind of like I'm going to do what I need to keep my job, but then I'm going to put myself in victory lane. Went around him. When he goes around him, then he's got a huge run. Zane Smith moves up to block. Chandler Smith, a great move to dive below him and not break the momentum of his run, puts it in victory lane. Other big story from the night, which may not be a big story to everybody, but certainly is to us because we are all Matty D fans. 6th place, baby. 6th place for Matt D, driving for Rackley War Racing. He has 2 races with Rackley War Racing. 10th place and 6th place. That is 2 top 10 finishes in 2 races. Anybody want to guess how many top 10 finishes Rackley War Racing had all of last year? 1. It was a 10th. It was a 10th place. 1. So Matty D, proven he knows how to wheel a vehicle. But that's all I got for the truck race. It was pretty good, but there was no doubt it was going to be a Kyle Busch Motorsports truck in victory lane. So,
Yep.
Anybody got anything to add to the truck race before we head into Xfinity, which is going to be covered by Zach?
I think the Truck Series is probably going to be a very cool division to watch this year. I know NASCAR is really kind of pushing the Cup Series and really kind of, and honestly, they are trying to kind of bring more attention to the Truck Series and into the Xfinity Series, kind of more so this year than years past. But I really think the truck race this season is going to be a just complete boxing match from about 15 different drivers this season. It's going to be a blast to watch. And Adam, I did not know you're from Cleveland, Tennessee. I'm actually from Knoxville. And so yeah, man. By the way, sorry comment. I do also drive a Tacoma.
Oh man, birds of a feather, man.
Birds of a
Birds
feather,
of a feather.
And I love it to
You
death,
drive a
and I'm
Tacoma?
never getting rid of it. I'm sorry?
You drive a Tacoma?
Absolutely. Toyota Tacoma, 95.
I love Tacomas.
I do too, man. They're great vehicles. I'm never getting rid of it.
I might have to go electric though with all these gas prices though.
Yeah.
Get the Ford Lightning.
So Mike Hora missed everything but the last 40 grapes. So Mike, give us a comment. Gran Turismo 7, thumbs up, thumbs down. Give us a little review here in the comments. And while you are typing that out, I will let Zach take over with the Xfinity race.
Oh, I just wanted to say great finish by Matt DiBenedetto. Was 7th on track, but because of the disqualification, he gets 6th. But yeah, for the Xfinity Series race, so we had a lot of action in the truck race, but the Xfinity Series race, I think we had 2 red flags and snow in Las Vegas. So pretty interesting weather. AJ Allmendinger started on pole with Josh Berry on his outside. Then we had the red flag period. And then we had Ty Gibbs versus Ryan Sieg. Ty Gibbs was penalized. He had to start in the back, and he was working his way up around 12th place, and Ryan Sieg was on the bottom. Ty Gibbs got a huge run, and Ty Gibbs was a little bit impatient and essentially moved Sieg up the track, which got him loose, and he backed it into the wall. During the red flag period, the words that they exchanged nearly got physical. And then once they got back going after the red flag, Sieg was lapped and saw the opportunity to wreck Ty, and ultimately did not wreck him, but wrecked himself even worse than what he was. And ultimately, that's what retired him from the race. But Gregson gets out front and he runs away with stage 1 with about 12 laps to go. Then we had Austin Hill, who had a terrible hit with Ryan Truex getting loose, and the 18 JGR car, revolving door of drivers, got loose on the bottom side, hit Austin Hill straight into the wall. Huge hit, but luckily he was able to get out relatively unscathed. And that set up Gregson's win for stage 2 over Ty Gibbs, who was working his way up after that penalty. And then we saw a late wreck that set up a 5-lap shootout where Ty Gibbs ended up getting the lead off of a great push by Justin Allgaier, and Noah Gragson, who pretty much dominated most of this race, ended up finishing second. So, man, you would think that the junior motorsports car would not give Ty such a big push and allow his teammate to potentially get the win, but they did not think that one through very well. Or maybe you have Noah Gragson start on the top instead of the bottom, so that way you can get your teammate to push you. But that did not work out very well, and ultimately ended up costing him the win there. On a more interesting note, we saw the same Joey Logano and Ryan Blaney in the booth this week, and finally, Ryan Blaney got his promo a week late. If you want to pull it up, Tom.
Okay, so for anybody who didn't tune in last week, let me set the stage of this. Okay, last week Blaney and Logano are in the booth. They're doing the Xfinity race at Auto Club. Fox decides they're going to show a promo for the Cup race that's coming the next day, and they show a shot of these like 5 drivers, which includes Logano, but they snubbed Blaney. He's in the booth working for them, and they totally snubbed him on it, and he absolutely called him out on it. Okay, he's like, next week you include me or I'm out of here. Okay, he totally called them out on it. It was awesome. So when it came time to do the promo this week, this is what Fox came up with. Now, Blaney was a very class act about it. He was kind of laughing and joking it off, but you could tell he got a point across. But this is the promo. 5 different Ryan Blaney faces. The promo is all Blaney all the time. I loved it. I absolutely loved it.
That was very well done.
He gets his promo, his 5 different looks, and makes him happy. So I thought it was really funny, and I loved it.
Yeah. So okay, I gotta say, I this is unpopular opinion. I can already tell from the Mike Hora comments and the Adam Lauer comments. Okay, here's my beef with Ty Gibbs. Okay, whoever you are and whatever you are, be the same person. Okay, whether they are interviewing you after you have won the race, or whether you are walking down pit road with your crew chief, be the same person. Okay, what I don't like is when he is talking to Ryan Sieg on pit road, it's very confrontational. It's clear that there's not an agreement of things on here. It looked like it was going to come to blows. Okay, they were having Sieg was pissed, and it really didn't look like Ty Gibbs was backing down at all from what he did. Okay, fast forward to the end of the race. Okay, now there's a microphone in front of Ty Gibbs. Now the world is watching. Now it's not 2 people on pit road and you can't tell what's being said. The world is watching. Now he's all apologetic. Now he's playing the nice guy role. Now he's saying, "Oh, I'm really sorry about the Ryan Sieg thing." You know what? You didn't look like you were very sorry when you were on pit road and had your finger up in his face. Okay, that's my beef with Ty Gibbs. Whoever you are, be the same person. Okay. So
I agree with that. Yeah, I do agree with that. I think that he was a little bit two-faced about it. You know, after he wrecked, and honestly, I'll go out and say it, he did wreck him. He had no patience, and he's got to learn that there are other people out there racing too, and just because you're faster doesn't always mean that you're allowed to just have them move over and you can pass. I love Ty Gibbs, love him. But he has to learn that, and you can't be on one hand arguing your side and then say, "Yeah, it's completely my fault. I'm sorry." After you win, you have no, like the incentive is all gone, you know, to make it right, and then you're just people don't think you're genuine. So That was a
And
little,
I'm the first one to say, because Dylan Smith brings up I'm not even
Yeah.
sure he's 19 and a half. He's 19. That he is a young man, and he's gonna make some mistakes along the way, and hopefully he grows from them and becomes better. And I am inclined to cut him a break because he's 19 and a half. But that incident really just rubbed me the wrong way. Didn't like the way he handled. I think Zach used the phrase two-faced. If you thought you were right, then own it and just say, yeah, I was making an aggressive move and I got places to be and I'm trying to win. If you're wrong, then say you're wrong, but be the same person.
Yeah. I mean, and I do agree with that. He's a very young driver, loads of talent. I mean, he's shown that every single week that he's been in the car. He's got loads of talent, and he's driving for Joe Gibbs. He's driving a bad fast car, and he's trying to get it up to the front as fast as possible, and kind of just avoid being in a very sticky situation. And so I will agree that he was a little bit two-faced in that situation, but then again, he's a youngster. He's a youngster. Give him like a year or two, see if he kind of figures out about hey, maybe being a two-faced little cocky SOB isn't gonna work, isn't gonna fly in this state of NASCAR anymore. And maybe he'll grow out of it. In 2 years, if he's still doing this, then yeah, that's probably his personality.
I will say
let's
this.
not hold it against him too much.
I do give him props because from what I can tell, he's about 4.5 feet tall, and Ryan Sieg is about twice his size, and he wasn't backing down from it. So I'll give him credit for that. I'll give him credit for that.
Oh yeah. But
anyway, let's stick with you, Simones. There is Mike Hoare giving us a review on the Gran Turismo game. But while everybody's reading that, Simones, let's stick with you and take us through the Cup race.
Alrighty, so the Cup race. I mean, honestly, I think it went a little bit better than Fontana for the first 30 laps, which, by the way, was the longest distance that the Cup Series has gone in a cycle of green flag laps. More than Fontana. So they completed 30 green flag laps in a row, which is more laps they've completed in a row at green flag conditions than they did at Fontana. That's how good the first 30 laps went. But then after that, it just went straight to hell. I think we had about 8 cautions, not counting stage breaks, pretty much for all of stage 2, none of which I think got to lap 30 or lap 20 even. You had, but you did see, you had Bell up front, you had Briscoe up front. Bell, who was who's not of last week. He was up front doing well until he spun out and kind of got towards the back, so may or may not jinxed him there. Then Briscoe doing well. You got Bowman, Blaney, Hamlin, Ross Chastain doing very well for Trackhouse, actually winning stage 2, which is I believe Trackhouse's first stage win of their existence in NASCAR, which is very nice for them. But then you get to after stage 1, Kyle Busch and Chase Briscoe having a little tangle. Apparently Kyle Busch got blocked in a way that he didn't really like from Briscoe. And I guess Briscoe beat him to the line for stage 1 to get some bonus points, and Busch was not happy. Probably more salty than the Utah Salt Flats. but then again, that's just Busch altogether. But you see the dreaded return of pit problems with Truex, Bowman, and others losing numerous spots on pit road, whether with a runaway tire or equipment problems. So that is still going to be a recurrent topic probably all season. But we get Bowman winning, and then Wallace probably by the skin of your teeth, nearly sent Jones, probably into space like you do in NASCAR Heat 5. It was so close. But luckily Jones was able to not get clobbered by Wallace. And then again, and I'll reiterate, Bowman wins it off of Kyle Larson in an incredible, 2-tire pit strategy and just an absolute showing of Hendrick power. And so that was essentially the Cup race, and that finish was just amazing so far. Probably finish of the year so far.
Okay, so let's talk about Kyle Busch's weekend for a minute, okay?
Okay.
He starts off in the truck race with his trucks starting 1, 2, 3 and dominating the race, but he gets beat by his own equipment. Okay, so he's got to be kind of happy but upset, like my truck's in victory lane, but I'm not the driver of it. Okay, then he wrecks his car Saturday in Cup. I don't know if it's qualifying or practice. Has to start at the back. Okay, had to repit in stage 1 because of transmission problems, spun to avoid an accident all in stage 1, then ends up in contention at the end of the race and loses in an incredibly close, incredibly exciting finish. I mean, you talk about the roller coaster of up, down, up, down, up, down. You know, but I got to give him credit. To go through all that and keep your focus and not give up when you've crashed your car. You had a car that, like, the day before had Denny Hamlin's name in the back window. It was his backup. You know, drive it from the back to the front multiple times, spin avoiding somebody else. I mean, yeah, quite a weekend.
Absolutely. Zach, anything you want to add to the Cup race?
Oh, I just thought it was a very, very good race overall. I didn't seem like anybody was going to go out there and dominate, but we saw a good variety of people lead, especially Ross Chastain getting up there and leading a bunch of laps. It was really refreshing to see, you know. And I thought, oh no, okay, so this is just a short run car. He's gonna fall off, and he never did. So. I was very happy to see that, and it's a testament to how well the car is, the new car is running.
Yeah,
and then the end of the race was pretty awesome too. You know, seeing all 3 of those cars, Hendrick cars, take 2 tires and it actually work out for them is pretty shocking. But
2 tires really hadn't worked very well most of the day.
It didn't.
Unless you could get the car up in clean air, and even then it wasn't very long. But
and
how about the sequential shifter getting Denny Hamlin?
Yeah.
If anybody didn't see it or know, Hamlin, I don't know. I think he was coming to pit road, and instead of being an H shifter where you have to go up and back and over, the cars are, you know, up is down and back is up, or whatever it is. Shifting by this way makes you go into a higher gear. That way goes. He went the wrong way and basically spun the car out because the tires locked up, and then broke the transaxle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then how about Kyle Larson? How lucky was he on in stage 3? He speeds on pit road, but a caution comes out, so he can serve the penalty under caution and doesn't really lose any time. So you talk about somebody who's just born under a lucky star. There you go.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah. But I do want to say, I mean, even though it's only been, I guess, 2 official races with the new car on, you know, actual tracks, the car right now, it's doing what it's supposed to. NASCAR said that this car was going to bring more parity into the sport, and even for its tire flaws, even for its mechanical flaws, it seems to be working out very well. We are getting some great racing. We are getting, you know, some new faces kind of up towards the front, like Chase Briscoe. You want to see him up front with the old car. Ross Chastain, you might every now and again, but not nearly as much. I mean, sorry, Zach, go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say, I think SHR as a whole, last year you probably wouldn't have seen a lot of them.
No.
But because I do think Chase Briscoe is talented. But what I was going to say, I thought it was weird that we saw the Hendrick cars and even some of the SHR RCR came in late. I mean, Austin Dillon was running like 26 most of the race to back of the pack. And then all of a sudden he comes out of nowhere to nearly get a top 10. But a lot of these cars were set up for the end of the race. Hendrick wasn't going out there and dominating the early portion of the race. And all of a sudden you have towards the end there, all of them being in the top 5. And then obviously that caution helped them out. But there was a note on the broadcast that these teams, or some of these bigger teams, were setting up the car for the end. So they may not have the speed at the beginning of the race, but they were going to have the speed towards the end when the cloud cover came. So I thought that was interesting to see for sure.
Oh yeah. Yeah, and maybe that's kind of one of the new meta with these cars now, that they're not really concerned with the stages, but more concerned with the race wins.
Yeah.
Could be. But on to Phoenix next week, which I think will be a very good track for these new cars to really get a good test with them.
All right, we got like 3 or 4 news stories here. So, Zach, take us through the news stories.
Absolutely. So this news just dropped. SRX will feature the Battle of the Blaneys. Ryan and Dave will be back in the SRX Series finale. Who do you guys have winning this battle? Either Ryan Blaney or Dave Blaney. I'm going to start with the non-Blaney fan, or non-obvious Blaney fan, and Aaron. Go ahead.
I mean, I want to go Ryan just because he has more recent racing experience, but Dave Blaney has more racing experience than Ryan does, which I don't know who's going to come out on top, but I want to say Ryan, but I will not be surprised if Daddy-O beats his son out for the Battle of the Blaneys.
Tom?
So my pick would be Ryan, probably.
Okay. This is SRX. Okay, so this is I'm a huge fan of this. So you got to understand, Tony Stewart's putting on a good show. This is at either, I don't know if it's titled Columbus Motor Speedway, but it's in the Columbus, Ohio area. This is like the Blaney's backyard because they are an Ohio racing family. It might be their home track. So he set this up to have these 2 big names there in what is basically their home territory. So I think it is awesome. This is another example of Tony Stewart just knowing how to put together a good show. But I am just going to say, Ryan Blaney, I'm just going to say he's going to show the old man how it's done. Much as I root for the old guys, I'm saying you got a driver that is absolutely in his prime right now.
Man.
And I'm going to say he's going to show the old man how it's done. I think he's going to make his dad proud.
All right. I'm going against you, Tom. I'm going to say the old man gets it done. He's going to use some muscle to get it done, though, because he's not afraid. He's going to give him
new tricks for him.
He's going to give him the bumper. I just have a feeling. Honestly, you really don't know. It's a completely different car. I would say it's somewhat similar to the current and next gen NASCAR.
Okay, now I want to say before we go off of this story, Columbus is just about 2 hours from where I live. And I've mentioned on this show before my friends Racing Refresh and their website and all the great information that we sometimes pull news stories from. So by all means, please check out racingrefresh.com. Has all kinds of stats, all kinds of news stories, great content. You'll love it. But those guys are in and around the Columbus, Ohio area for the most part. So I have plans for that race to meet up with them and go see that race in person. So I am super pumped about that. That is probably as close to a NASCAR race as I'm going to make it this year. But that is my plan, to meet up with those guys over there. So I am super pumped about this. And the fact that Ryan Blaney's going to be there makes it even better.
They better get his autograph.
Yeah.
I'll see
Ryan and Dave. Ryan and Dave now.
Yeah, if I send you some stuff, can you get an autograph for me?
I can try. Here's the thing that kills me, okay, about the whole Ryan Blaney thing. His sister operates a little, I think, clothing store in Marietta, Ohio, that is right down the street from my ex-wife's clothing store, and my ex-wife is actually kind of friends with Blaney's sister, which killed me.
Man.
Yeah. So anyway.
Ouch.
Yeah.
Well, like that.
All right. Yeah. Keep going. Let's go to the next news
moving
story.
on. Moving on.
Moving on. Team Stange, excuse me, plans to enter multiple races with Tarso Marquez, I believe Brazilian or Mexican driver.
Brazilian.
Thank you.
Brazilian driver.
I knew I had it right the first time. Confidence, Zach. Confidence. They're typically, or they have run the Indy 500 in 2019 and other years. But they're going to try their hand at NASCAR with the number 79 Gal Dignity Gold car. So pretty awesome to see an international driver come in. He's going to be racing tentatively at Road America, Indy Roval Course, or Road Course, excuse me, Watkins Glen, Daytona, Roval, and Las Vegas Motor Speedway, Homestead again, and Phoenix. So bunch of races for this brand new team. I wonder if they have a partnership. They are running Ford, so that's going to be interesting to see. But that's pretty awesome to see a new car, not necessarily a new team. That team is native to IndyCar, and they put on some really, really good IndyCar races. So pretty nice to see. What are your thoughts on this, Tom? Let's start with you.
Okay, I know you're an F1 fan, so you may want to reach through and choke me with this. I had no idea who this guy was. I was
No.
like, who is this guy? I'm like, I assume he's got
I don't
road
know
racing
either.
experience. He is like 45, 46 years old, and he ran F1 back mid 90s. I think that is his background.
Yeah.
But I had to look the guy up. I had no clue who he was.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at him right now, and he started in like 24 seasons with F1. Hasn't completed a single full season with F1. This is just a weird choice.
Yeah.
For this team, this is just throwing off a lot of red flags.
There's been a lot of guys who were probably closer to their prime who struggled to get the handle on these big, heavy, boxy NASCAR machines on road courses. So I don't have very high expectations, just to be honest.
So I'll let you guys know. So Minardi which is the F1 team that he ran for, was not a very good team in F1. Think of Rick Ware Racing. And
I can tell about the finishes.
Yeah, and so didn't do well with that. And then he went into Kart Champ Car, which is a current Indy car, with Team Penske, which is a big name, but he didn't run a lot of races. And then Dale Coyne Racing, which he did okay at, not very great. But then in around 2007, he drove Stock Car Brazil. So he does have some stock car experience in Brazil. Not necessarily the same thing, but it's nice to see that he has some stock car, touring car outings. So interesting, like you said, interesting choice. I agree. He apparently hasn't run a lot since 2007. So maybe it's just a team connection that got him the ride. So what are your thoughts on this, Aaron?
Like I said earlier, this is throwing a lot of red flags. A team that's just starting very late in the season, has a driver that doesn't have a lot of experience in stock cars, has not a good reputation in Formula One. I mean, heck, his best starting position was 14th back in 1996, and his best finish was 9th back in the Canadian Grand Prix and the Brazilian Grand Prix, in which case he started 22nd and 21st, respectively. Not looking good for this new team. I'd have serious doubts about this team. I mean, at least with teams with Greg Biffle and Jacques Villeneuve, they one, have stock car backgrounds with NASCAR. Two, have been at least with Greg Biffle, have been former champions of NASCAR, which they can use the professional to try and get into some races. And were formed before the start of this season, and have been trying to at least get something put together. This team's starting way too damn late with a driver that has virtually no stock car experience, or at least no American stock car experience, and his later experiences that he has, his racing history is very not good. So this is throwing up a bunch of red flags.
Yeah. Look, I hope the best for them.
I do too,
it's nice. It's always nice to see good teams, but I thought the new car would kind of bring Rick Ware Racing and some of the other teams from getting lapped in a race, and so far that has failed miserably. We continually see them being lapped in some of these.
Well, at least I'm wrecking out every race.
That is true. To me, it just seems like another one of those teams that's going to get lapped in how many ever short amount of time that it takes. And that's a little bit disappointing. But I love that the team, a former IndyCar team, ran the Indy 500 in 2019 with Oral Servia, so big names. I'm excited to see them compete in NASCAR. They also debuted in the ARCA racing in 2014 as well, and then in 2016 again. So they're not new to, I guess, NASCAR's lower series, but from ARCA racing to NASCAR, and quite a big gap. Seems kind of like you said, red flag. But
I will say, at least Penske does look very good though. I'll give them that. It looks very good.
Maybe they'll get on the paint scheme face-off, but let's get rolling. We got more news stories to cover and a lot to go through. Let's pick up the pace a little bit.
The last one is going to be NASCAR takes blame for not calling a caution sooner in the truck race incident at Vegas. What do you think NASCAR can do to make sure this never happens again? Aaron, let's start with you.
Yeah. So for context here, it was I guess during the last. Or I guess the last few laps of the truck race, Tommy may have seen this.
Yeah, but coming to the white flag, Spencer Boyd wrecked and was along the inside wall. And I was coming to the white flag, but no caution was called.
Yeah, and what makes this even worse, I mean, he was there for an entire lap. Truck was not going or anything, just parked on the inside wall, with trucks going nearly 160 miles an hour. And what makes this even worse was that Boyd was hurt. And apparently he had like a shoulder injury done to him. I can understand why NASCAR didn't throw the caution, but in that situation, you got to throw the caution. I mean, if that truck is not getting up and going, then one, either the truck is busted, or two, something's wrong with the driver. In which case, you gotta throw caution. I mean, NASCAR was all about, since 2001, was safety for the drivers. And that's partly why this new car came to be, is safety for the drivers. And then when the driver is hurt, is in a very vulnerable position, and NASCAR doesn't throw the caution, is not a good look for them. And I'm glad they are taking blame for it. I'm glad they said, yes, we messed up. We should have thrown the caution. That's our fault. And how I think they need to fix this going further is just to throw the caution. I mean, go ahead and just take the heat for your go ahead and take a heat for it and just say, yeah. I mean, the race ended very badly, but a driver could have been more hurt or possibly even worse. So just take the heat, NASCAR, and just throw the caution.
Yeah, I mean, okay. Adam, I'm going to pick on you here, Adam. You said let them race. Okay, Adam, let me tell you something. One time, I dislocated that finger right there, that joint. Okay, that little tiny joint right there, and I almost cried. Okay, that's a little tiny joint this big. He dislocated a shoulder. Okay, holy cow! I cannot imagine how painful that must have been, and how much his butt must have puckered sitting there looking in the rearview mirror going, holy shit, they're not throwing the caution. These guys are racing for the win at 170 miles an hour right beside me. holy cow. And I don't know what NASCAR does because they got eyes all over the track.
Yeah.
I mean, they literally have eyes all over the track. So I do not know how they didn't do it. I don't know how they, unless they're going to have, a spotter every 10 feet. They got eyes everywhere. I don't know how they don't catch it. I don't know what they're going to do, but yeah, that was definitely to me a safety issue and a blunder on NASCAR's part. I can applaud them for taking responsibility for it and saying it's not going to happen again, but it should have never happened in the first place.
No. And Fox, NASCAR, especially on the Fox side of the broadcast, they have never been shy of showing how many cameras they have at one event.
Yeah.
They've never been shy about that.
Uh-huh.
And so I don't know how that flew underneath the radar.
Yeah, I couldn't believe that this happened. Previously, I thought the truck was left there for quite a while, but I was wrong. Even just 2 laps, though, because they were still racing hard off of 2 after the caution flew, or racing hard enough because there were lap trucks going around. So just not a good look, and I do think that. Well, go ahead, Tom.
Okay, Adam. All right, you made your point. You made me look like a pussy. Okay. Yeah, I'm saying I almost cried because I dislocated my little finger. There you are saying you dislocated it during a wrestling match and you still won. Okay, all right. You're a He-Man, Adam. You made me look like a pussy. All right, I'll admit it.
Yeah, I can't imagine dislocating a shoulder and still being in there for quite a while with trucks screaming past. You can hear it too because engines cut off and everything else. All it takes is a blown tire and spinning out and running into the back of them, causing more damage. So it only takes one time. Luckily, nothing happened this time, and hopefully they get it fixed for the future. But that was just completely wrong, and I'm glad they took responsibility, but that doesn't change the fact that a mistake happened, and mistakes like that can't happen because somebody will die.
Yeah, I mean, there were 37 trucks on, or at least registered. I don't know how many there were at the end of the race, but even if every truck was on track, take 2 laps, that is 74 chances
it wasn't
of him
2
getting
laps,
more hurt than
okay?
what he already was.
It was he wrecked coming to the white, so it was really 1 lap.
I mean, that's still
Coming
30.
to the white.
It's still that's a lot of chances for someone to get more hurt than what they already were. Yeah. But
all right, let's keep going. We are deep into the show as far as time, but not deep into the agenda. We got to pick it up, guys.
Yep.
Yeah. So our last little bit of news is unfortunately somber. NASCAR driver, NASCAR hauler, driver for Dave Gilligan Racing was killed in a crash in Texas. Our thoughts and prayers go out to him and his family and the whole team. Just a terrible, terrible scene. And I don't know if anybody saw the pictures on the internet, just a terrible, terrible wreck. So
it looked very bad. They said he was pronounced dead at the scene, so it must have been really bad. 2 other people were involved. They said they were in stable condition. So thoughts and prayers go out to them as well. But very, very somber, very sad day.
Yes.
So, all right, let's move on and let's go to a little brighter topic. Who's hot? Who's not? Okay. So, and you guys can chime in as viewers to let us know what you think of our picks for who's hot, who's not. Let's start with Aaron.
All right. So for my who's hot this week, I'm going to go with parity drivers. Like I said earlier in the broadcast, the new car for at least the Cup Series has really kind of issued in a new era in NASCAR where kind of the mid-pack to back marker type guys are starting to kind of reemerge themselves and kind of show off their talents with the new car and being up front and competing in leading laps. And so far through 3 races, that seems to be the case. So I'm going parity driver as who's not is a real good look for NASCAR. For not, I'm going with Tyler Reddick. Man, it seems like the last 2 weeks have just not gone his way from leading a bunch of laps of Fontana to wrecking, and then to going to Vegas, spinning out, and really kind of not being much of a factor at all at Vegas. And so for my who's not this week, I'm going with Reddick. Unfortunately.
All right. Zach, who you got?
All right. As far as who's hot, I'm going with Bowman. Bowman the Showman. That's a funny comment. Yes. So Bowman, man, I cannot believe this guy. He has really good talent, but how in the hell is he always in such a great position to win? I don't understand. I want some of this luck that this guy has. He took 2 tires. His team had a great stop. Just got an amazing push on the restart, and this is the second time that I can remember where he just completely just out of nowhere wasn't even the fastest car in the race, just won the race. I mean, when you think about Pocono last year, Larson blowing a tire, I don't know, coming to the checkered. That's just one of many, but he's a great driver, but man, I want some of his luck. As far as who's not, I'm going to go with Suarez. He, when you see your teammate up front and dominating most of the race, I mean, he led, I think, 86 laps, and you get hit by a spinning car. That's got to hurt. He was up there too. He was in the top 15, I think, top 20 at least. And he just gets taken out. So no fault of his own. That's gotta hurt, but I hope he shakes off some of his misfortunes here in the next couple races. But that's my who's hot and who's not.
All right. I want to preview. Next segment is going to be Paint Scheme Face Off. We are bringing it back this week. Please stay tuned. You do not want to miss it. It is going to be something special that you will be glad that you tuned in for. But I'm going to cover my who's hot, who's not. I'm going to say who's hot is Trackhouse Racing. 2 top 5s in 2 weeks. First stage win as an organization. Last week it was Daniel Suarez. This week it was Ross Chastain, the Watermelon Man. I so want to see him bust a watermelon. I so want to see him win in the Cup Series. Best celebration in NASCAR since Carl Edwards retired is the Watermelon Man. But Trackhouse Racing, man, we talked about them a little bit last year. We did a lot of comparisons to them versus 2311 and said, man, they were really outperforming. They're continuing it this year. They got momentum. I'm expecting them to keep going and do great things the rest of the year. Who's hot? I also want to say, too, I have a second who's hot. Kyle Busch, the team owner, qualified 1, 2, 3 in the truck race, dominated all race, finished first and third. So Kyle Busch, the team owner, is hot. Now, as far as who's not, I'm saying Kyle Busch, the driver. And I'm not saying he's necessarily not hot, is not the best way, but he is plagued with the worst luck this week, okay? He crashes in practice and has to have a car basically rebuilt for him to race. So because he's going to a backup, he has to start at the back. He has to repit at one point because I can't remember if it was a vibration or what, but he had to repit at one point. Then once he repits, later on, he spins to avoid somebody else who is spinning, winds up at the back again. So horrible luck. Then he finally races his butt off all day, gets up front, has a chance to win. He's the first car with 4 tires, and he gets outdueled by 3 teammates on 2 tires. Just horrible luck for him. Like him or not, you got to admit he drove his ass off and he overcome a lot of bad luck. But I'm going with him for the who's not, mostly because of the just bad luck, not that it was really him not being hot. So, Bowman's T-shirt sales after another driver calls him out. That will definitely make his T-shirt sales go up.
Yep.
Okay. All right, guys, you got to see this. You're going to love this. Okay, this is a popular segment that we brought back. It is Paint Scheme Face Off. Give me a second to get this teed up. Here's what we do. We throw up 2 paint schemes, and you guys vote on it as well as we do, as far as which one you like, which one you don't, which one you pick over the other. We got some unique ones and some interesting ones, but you're definitely going to want to stick around for this one. So let's get into, if I can do this, paint scheme face off. Okay, so first up is Oil Wars. Okay, Mobile One versus Valvoline. So what do you guys think here? Mobile One versus Valvoline in Oil Wars.
Oh, take down the comment so we can see the Valvoline scheme. Sorry.
Hold on. Oh, okay. Hold on. Give me a second. I got to get back here to what I'm doing.
Yeah, well,
Sorry.
I'm gonna go ahead.
Okay, here we go.
All right. I'm gonna go ahead and say it's got to be Mobile One for me. I mean, just they're bringing back the iconic red Pegasus. That just did it in for me. I got to go Mobile One. Sorry about Valvoline.
Man, does anybody else think Jeremy Mayfield when they see that Pegasus type horse thing?
I absolutely do.
Okay.
So
Zach, what do you think?
Nostalgia.
Oh, I like the Valvoline scheme. I love both, to be honest with you, but I don't like how small the Mobile One logo is in the back there. I think the 5 used really used a lot of the car in their scheme, which makes me happy.
Yeah. Honestly, both schemes really did use up a lot of that space very well, but God, that red Pegasus is just so iconic.
I know. I know.
And I'm a sucker for nostalgia, so I got to go Mobile One for me. Zach, you're going Valvoline. Tom, what say you?
Oh, man, it's tough. It's so tough. I don't know. I'm not a big fan of the Valvoline oil because I used to tear apart engines when I was a kid in my dad's garage, and the ones that ran the Valvoline oil were just so full of sludge. But I'm going to go with the Valvoline as far as the paint scheme. I think I'm going to pick it.
Yeah. Although I will say Valvoline does look very good too. It does look very good.
I don't like the black that they've got there in the tin. If they got rid of that black on that side, I'm not sure what it's doing, and just ran it all white, I might have been swayed because it was really close. It was really close.
I think I want to say it's kind of like show the number more. Is one thing it did, but it was kind of It's kind of just put there. I kind of see what you mean, but I think it still looks great though.
Okay. All right, let's keep going. Next up, we have the Battle of the Yellow Cars.
Oh, boy.
We have the Palmenard, or not Palmenard. Palmenard drove that, but it is the Menards Pennzoil scheme for Ryan Blaney and the Pure Pennzoil scheme for Joey Logano. So what do you guys think with this? Let's start with you, Aaron. Earl, by the way, Mobile One definitely better oil. Holy cow. The Valvoline engines that I used to tear apart were disgusting.
Yeah. Honestly, I don't know why they continue to do this, but why can't it just match up the ding yellows with the number 12? Why do they have to go with highlighter yellow for the number and then just like actual yellow for the rest of the car? I don't get it. Like, either make the entire car highlighter yellow or make the entire car freaking just yellow like Joey Logano did. I don't get why that two-tone yellow. I like the white and the gray for it. I love that little stripe.
Well, that's why they had to add the gray in there so you could see the highlighter yellow.
You'll see it anyway. You'll see it from space. That's the thing. That's the entire point of highlighter yellow. But no, I got to go with Joey's here because Pennzoil at least used all of the space on there. Menards did as well. But Pennzoil made their logo, large and in charge, was the whole point of this number move to begin with. And so I got to go with Pennzoil, even though it has no red rims, which is still throwing me off.
All right, Zach, what do you say?
It's crazy to me that Pennzoil is sponsoring 2 cars in the same race.
Well, they sponsored the race too, so
I know.
I mean, they were going
that's
all
a
in
lot
on
of
this
money.
one.
Yeah,
that's a lot of money.
Yeah, well, they're an oil company, in which case they're all making huge bucks.
Yeah. I can't. I think the 12 scheme is ugly. No offense. I love Menards, love Blaney, but I don't like the stripe. The stripe makes no sense. The highlighter yellow, like you said, makes no sense. Yeah, ugly. I wish the Pennzoil was bigger on the 22 and extended a little bit further more towards the gas opening, but other than that, I like the solid scheme. I think it really blends well. There's nothing too fancy about the car. They're not trying too hard, like some schemes. So I'm gonna have to go with Logano here.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So now we are going to go with these are not current cars because the numbers aren't in the right place, but I still thought it was a good one.
Well, Tom, they actually are in the right place. I'm just letting you know right now.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Okay, so
They
this
were
is
exactly where they're supposed to be.
Ford Clips versus Great Clips. This is the battle of the hair salons, which that just seems so odd to have a battle of hair salons at NASCAR, but here we are. Okay, so Zach, what do you say?
What in the heck is the 5 even doing up here? I'm sorry.
I see the 5 and I think Scooby-Doo for some reason.
Oh my gosh. No. The 20. I'm all because there were some schemes that were multicolored like that and really loud, and it worked out really great, but no.
Yeah, but that was in the 90s.
No, there was some that are even still good today. I like sports clips. There's a nice design. They fill most of the sponsor space, and look at that. The number is actually in the middle where it's supposed to be.
Yes, where it's supposed to be.
So
what a great time was.
And we have contingency sponsors. Look at that.
Yeah, what do you know?
I'm gonna cry. I'm gonna say the 20.
Back in the good old days. But yeah, no, I'm going with 20. The 5, I seriously think I'm looking at like the Mr. Machine from Scooby-Doo.
The Kellogg scheme for sure.
Yeah. I mean, it looked like they're trying to go with the Kellogg scheme or with the or with what, like the oh god, what's that sponsor? Like car parts, something that they sponsored for Mark for a while. But no, it looks like they ripped off like 3 different cars and put them together. So no, I'm going with 20.
Yeah, I gotta agree with both of you. The 20 has a theme to it. Everything fits together. It looks good together. I don't know what they were doing. This on the 5, it almost looks like it should be like some kind of abstract art. Like, oh, let's throw some blue here. Let's throw some yellow here. Let's throw some red here. It's just like, let's just throw a bunch of colors on here and see what it looks like. It just doesn't flow. It doesn't have a theme. I'm not a fan.
The only thing I can think of is like a beach. But yeah. I don't know.
Kind of.
Okay, now we have one more to go through here, and you guys are going to love this one, okay? You guys are absolutely positively going to love this one. So here we go. And this is going to be hard to figure out which way you want to go on this one because they're really similar. So here we are. Carson Hocevar versus Zach Brandevold. I can't pick because they look the same to me. I'm looking at this. I can't tell a difference. This is separated at birth. I can't tell a difference.
I can't tell a difference either.
Zach, what do you think?
Zach, what do you think, buddy? We found your twin.
I love that you can recruit my wife to do these types of things. I mean, you guys are evil. You're supposed to be supporting me.
We're comparing you to a NASCAR driver. I would love to be compared to a NASCAR driver. I think we are supporting you.
You know what? I would definitely switch places with him. 100%.
Adam is voting for you, Zach.
Adam, thank you. Thank you. Neither? Oh my god.
Bundy, not a Zach fan.
Bundy.
Ooh. Wow.
Oh, We got to give a big shout out to Zach's fiance Haley, who provided us with the
Absolutely,
picture.
Haley.
And if you can't tell which is which, Zach is the one on the right. Okay.
That's why.
Yeah.
That is why she needed that photo. I forgot about it. So this is good. This is probably the biggest impractical joke.
Yeah, because
Wow.
I was watching the truck race, Friday, and they're showing a picture of Carson Hocevar and Zach. I'm not kidding you. I thought for a second that was you.
This is why you wanted to run through it so quickly, so you can get
Yeah,
to this
that-
moment
that's
and
what
just
I was
laugh
I want
at
to
me.
get through it so
I'm
damn
afraid we're
quick.
gonna have viewers start tuning out, and it's getting close to 10 o'clock. I'm like, we got to get this in here while people are still watching.
Goodness.
Honestly, gotta give you guys a hand. That was good. That was really good.
I got to give
seriously-
credit to Aaron because he found it. He's like, look at this, Tom. And then I was like, oh, we got to do a paint scheme face off with this.
She
one.
wanted me
Yes.
to. She wanted me to pose like that, and then I couldn't smile. I couldn't do anything. I was like, what the fuck do you? She made me
Well,
take
now
it
you
3
know, Zach.
times.
Oh,
Now you know.
God bless you, Haley. We love you.
Haley,
Thank
you're
you
the
so
best.
much.
We love you.
Oh my god.
Oh, okay. All right.
All right. Good night, Earl.
Yeah.
Appreciate tuning in, brother.
Let's move on to green flag,
Yeah.
red flag. Thank you again. Yeah, thank you for tuning in, Earl. Okay, so
Oh man.
Aaron, I will end Zach's torment for the night, and we
I
can
was
go
about to say,
to
we could
green
take that off.
flag, red flag. Take us through this one, if we can all get a
does,
straight
though.
face again.
It does though. But anyway, moving on. All right, green flag, red flag. First one of the night. Fans, if you are still watching, please go ahead and share your comments down below to see whether if you agree or disagree with the following statements and questions. First one of the night is: does Kyle Busch have a point in saying what he said about Bowman, quote, backing into his wins? Tom, let's go with you first. Does Kyle Busch have a point?
I don't know. Bowman raced his butt off for this one, even though he did have 2 tires. He got one because Kyle Larson blew a tire at Pocono. He just flat outran Denny Hamlin at Richmond. I don't discount his wins any more than and I don't discount wins for people who only win at plate tracks or people who win rain shortened races. A win is a win, and you got to have yourself in position to take advantage of it if good fortune does come your way. So I'm going to say red flag. I disagree with it.
Okay. Zach, what about you?
I know I said earlier that he has a lot of luck, and he does get lucky, but you as a driver, you have to put yourself in those positions, and for him to be able to do that, I definitely think it takes some skill, and I don't think that he always backs into his wins because, like you said, there have been moments where he's been the dominant car, but man, is he lucky! But I'm gonna have to say red flag. I don't think he's backing into his wins. He definitely has skill. I don't discount any of his wins, but he is in the right place at the right time, which is partly driver and partly crew and partly situation. You need everything to go right in order to win races, and you also have to be talented. So, to a certain extent.
I'm also going to go with red flag because, as a wise driver once said, in racing, luck is always prepared. Luck comes with time and dedication. If you know kind of what's going to go wrong, you can always prepare for it. If you know what's going to go right, you can always prepare for it. Now, keep in mind, when they had a 2-tire pit stop, you only had 2 laps. I mean, it's not like you were trying to make those 2 tires last like 20 or 30 laps. And so in that situation, why not try 2 tires and go from there? I mean, all you got to do is just hold them on for 2 laps. And so I think it was way more of a calculated risk than what Kyle Busch is kind of thinking. Also, I think Kyle Busch was being kind of a salty bitch when it came to when he came to the end of the race. He was so close after overcoming so much. He was just frustrated because he couldn't get there. I understand that completely. But I don't think Bowman backs into his wins. He's methodical. He's patient. He's patiently waiting for the time to strike, and he always does this. which is a very dangerous combination. He's patient and he has skill and talent along with him. So I'm going to go red flag.
Yeah, Aaron, go along with your comments about luck. I remember a quote from Chuck Noll, who was the coach of the Steelers in the 70s and won 4 Super Bowls. He defined luck. He said, luck is what happens when preparation meets opportunity. So you're absolutely right about that. But sorry, I had to throw a Chuck Noll quote in there.
I understand. And hey, I got my quote from Jeff Gordon. So there we go. All right, green flag, red flag number 2 of the night. The 2-tire call by all three Hendrick cars running at the front was an orchestrated strategy and not a coincidence of all 3 crew chiefs making the same call. Green flag or red flag? Zach, we'll start with you first.
Green, definitely. I mean, it's not a coincidence that 3 out of the 4 Hendrick drivers all take 2 tires. I mean, you got nothing to lose there. I thought it was an amazing call. But something has me thinking like Hendrick might have said, you know what, F this, one of y'all are gonna win, so y'all take 2 tires. That would be, or maybe Chad Canals, whoever. I don't think it's a coincidence. I gotta say green flag.
Yeah. All right, Tom, what say you?
I absolutely agree. This smells like a Chad Canals orchestrated strategy that if I can start and have both cars in the front row to the extent that they're side by side, there's not much chance of somebody with 4 tires getting around them, and one of them's going to get a push from a teammate, and it's only 2 laps, and it was also kind of, you know what? I got 3 cars starting 1, 2, 3. Even if we got 2 tires, one of them will make it work, and one of them will wind up in victory lane. It just seems like it was a completely orchestrated thing. Not that I have a problem with that. That was our great strategy. If you can put 3 cars up front, God bless you, go for it. But I think it was completely orchestrated. Yeah.
I mean, I don't want to go green because I want to think that each crew chief was individually looking at the amount of laps left and kind of where their cars were. But I would not put it past Chad Canals to whisper like a little grain of ideas into all 3 of their heads and say, hey, you've only got 2 laps left. Why not take 2 tires? See what happens. And I would not be surprised if all 3 of them went for it, but I got to go green flag. I got to go green. I mean, Chad Canals is one crafty SOB.
Yeah.
And sorry, Zach, want to go? You want to say something?
No, I was just
okay. All right, so third one of the night. Kyle Larson cost himself the win by choosing the outside line on the restart. Green flag or red flag? Tom, start it off.
I'm saying green flag because it seemed like the bottom line was the better line on the restarts most of the day. So I was a little surprised that he took the outside. But yeah, I think it seemed like the bottom was the base to be on the restarts. So I'm going to say, yeah, he probably cost himself a win by picking the outside.
All right, Zach.
I'm going to say green flag, but I'm going to say for a different reason. If he would have chose the bottom, wouldn't he have gotten his teammate?
No, I think we would have gotten Kyle Busch.
Well, then who was up?
Byron.
Yeah.
Oh. Well, anyway, I like Tom said, the bottom lane was very good going into one. You could generally clear the driver, especially on 2 tires. You would think that there would be a little bit of wear into the equation. I'm going to say green flag.
Okay. I'm going to differ from you guys and say red flag. I think Larson had the momentum, but it's just that great side draft that Bowman got on him twice, or like 3, maybe 4 times on that restart. I think that's what cost him the win, especially that little bobble when he was trying to kind of pinch Bowman down and turn 3 and 4. That little bobble is I think what cost him the win there. But I think Larson had the right idea. He just couldn't pull it off. So I'm going to go red flag. All right. And last one of the night. Kyle Busch passed more cars at Las Vegas this week than his brother Kurt did at Auto Club last week. Zach, we'll go with you first.
Red flag. But yeah, red flag.
Red flag immediately.
He sounds like he's already looked this up. Okay, so after we say it, can you look it up, Zach? Because I think
Yeah,
last
I
week
know the
Kurt
number.
Busch
Know the
passed, was it
number.
154 cars or 133?
I thought it was like 145. Well, I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know.
He's saying this because
I'll
he's
look.
already
Hold
looked
on.
it up. That's not fair. You weren't supposed to look it up till we all entered our guesses.
Oh, I thought you wanted me to look up ahead of time.
No,
I had to pull.
let us all guess, then look it up.
Ah,
Well, I'm obviously going to say red flag now.
gave away the answer.
Yeah, but
I'm gonna go with
I was
green
going to say
flags.
red flag just because I don't think Bush had made it all the way up to Kyle Busch made it all the way up to the front when he had to repit, and then he had made it all the way up to the front when he spun to avoid somebody. So I don't think he went all the way to the front every time. Because a lot of those things happen in pretty rapid succession. So anyway, yeah, I'm going to say red flag.
I'm going green flag. I'm going green flag because I think Zach's a liar. No, no, I'm going red flag. I mean, Kurt had to drive like what, like from the back to the front, like what, three times that, 3 times probably at Auto Club, and God had to do it like what, twice.
And he didn't even go all the way to the front before one of the incidents happened,
Yeah.
and didn't go all the way before another incident happened. So yeah.
Yeah, I'm going red flag.
Okay, so give us the answer, Zach. How many cars did Kyle Busch pass at Las Vegas?
Y'all are gonna kill me. So we were all wrong for green flag passes for Kurt Busch for Auto Club. He had 133 green flag passes at Auto Club. The next closest was Justin Haley with 131 for that race. Now,
Okay.
moving on to Las Vegas. Can I change my answer?
No.
Kyle Busch had 135 green flag passes. Wow. And he is not even the one with the most green flag passes. Can anyone take a guess who that might be?
I'm gonna assume Larson.
No. Tom?
Give me a minute. Ross Chastain.
No. Eric Jones, 157.
Yeah, so Zach is a liar. I want to let everyone know I called that out at the beginning. Yeah. Zach's a liar.
Look, we just had wrong information from the previous race. I should have looked up the previous race ahead of time.
Okay. All right. So that's the end of green flag, red flag. We are up to Phoenix preview. Okay. Shocker. Best average finish over the last 5 races at Phoenix. Shocker. Everybody ready? You'll never guess this one. Kyle Larson.
Wow. Really? Kyle Larson?
No way.
Huh. I never would have guessed that.
Didn't anyone not get
he's only
championship?
ran in 4 of them because the fall of 2020 Phoenix race he was not there for because he was out of NASCAR. But average finish of 4, he has finished 1st, 7th, 4th, and 4th. So an average finish of 4 for him.
All right, so we're all going to be taking Larson then. I can tell in our fantasy.
Okay. Joey Logano, average finish of the last 5, 5.2.
Really, and that was Logano, you said?
Joey Logano, 5.2.
Logano.
Kevin Harvick, 5.6. Denny Hamlin, 6.2. Oddly enough, there is not much of a trend between the spring races and the fall races because, you can, like, the fall race, Joey Logano finished 11th and 9th, but on the spring races, he has finished 2nd and 1st. So It seems like the spring race is very different than the fall, probably because you got your 4 championship contenders usually dominating the fall race.
Probably. All right, so Zach, who do you have for Phoenix?
For some reason, I have to go with Martin Truex Jr. Some inkling.
Well, could the reason be that last year he finished second in the fall and first in the spring race, so he's got a pretty good history there last year.
Yeah, I was trying to find the little snippet of information that I had on him, but can't see.
Oh yeah, your trust your reliable information that you know y'all lied to us about.
Exactly. Exactly. You know me. I would say the Martin Truex Jr. as the race winner, but maybe a dark horse. I would have to say Christopher Bell. Last year at shorter flat tracks, Christopher Bell went 5 for 5, finishing in the top 10 and had a 5.4 average finish. So I think he potentially could get it done. And my statistics on Truex last year at shorter flat tracks minus New Hampshire, where he had problems in the rain, Truex had 2 wins and a 2.3 average finish and averaged leading 80 laps per race. So pretty good statistical backing there.
Okay. Aaron,
Tom,
what do you think?
Well, I mean, Joey Logano has led the most laps at Phoenix since 2019. So he is not a bad choice to pick. I may go Logano, and for my dark horse, I may go with... Man, I don't know. I may want to go... You know what? Even though he has not good stats there, I may go with Eric Jones just because of momentum. I mean, he's done really well the last 3 races. I mean, why not at Phoenix?
Broke my brain.
Well, I'm gonna say I don't have a good feeling about Logano, and I know he's ran well here, but I just feel like Penske's a little bit off right now. Vegas was a track that they always owned the spring race there, it seemed like, and they just weren't that good this year. I just feel like Penske as a whole is off. But if I had to go with a dark horse, I'm going with Trackhouse Racing. I'm going with it's either Suarez or Chastain because they've got one or the other of them has been top 5 the last couple of races. I think they've got this car maybe figured out a little bit more than some of the other teams.
All right. Well, we shall see in approximately 5 days' time.
Yeah, can't wait.
We'll see.
All right. So, parting comments. What has anybody got for their white flag comments?
Do you want me to go first? I can go first.
Yeah, sure.
Sure, go ahead.
Okay. I'm just gonna go on a little rant here. So I don't know. Nobody really. You guys don't pay attention to IndyCar news, but you guys can maybe relate because the Clash had concerts. So to give you a little rundown, IndyCar has I guess like 4 different concerts planned for their Iowa doubleheader race, Iowa Speedway doubleheader race. I think they have Florida Georgia Line, Blake Shelton, Taylor Swift, or something like that. Pretty good acts, but what a ticket used to cost, like maybe $100 a seat for 2 pretty good seats, now costs twice as much because they're including the concert price as part of it, and apparently also they're including food trucks. But the main thing I'm talking about is the concerts. And we got people complaining about it. I don't know. I just feel like a race weekend would be a lot better with a concert in it. I've never been to one, but I feel like the added entertainment value, as well as, some people will just go there just for the concert, and that's fine. But some people will also walk away and say, hey, this race weekend was pretty cool. Let me go to another one. We had similar experiences at the Clash at the LA Coliseum, and we saw mentioned on the broadcast that a bunch of them came back. Weren't NASCAR fans. Now they are. So I think adding added entertainment value throughout a race weekend is beneficial, and I like seeing like IndyCar and NASCAR try new things. And so I don't know. I like the idea. I'm sick and tired of traditional race fans saying that, I just want racing. Why can't we just have a race? Because people aren't going to these races anymore, or not like they used to, or at some of these tracks. So you have to have added entertainment value to the weekend to get the same kind of numbers that you would before. We can't keep bouncing around to all these different tracks because they get good attendance for 5 years and then fall off the face of the earth, which has happened at a bunch of racetracks. That's why we don't go to them anymore. But then when we figure out, hey, we want to try something or go back or whatever, then you get people with the nostalgia value and come back and pack the stands, excuse me. So I don't know. I think trying something like that is a good thing. I don't think it should be viewed as a negative. Even if it does increase the cost of your tickets, you're still getting a whole weekend to enjoy, rather than, some of these NFL tickets cost, couple $100, $500 for halfway decent tickets. You're spending $200 for a race weekend and a concert. And even if you don't like the acts, I mean, whatever. But that's just my rant.
All right, Tom, what say you?
Well, let me say to Zach comment. I remember going to the Coca-Cola 600, and this has been, I don't know how long, 15 years ago. But even at that point, they said the average fan spends 9 hours at the track the day of the race. So
Yeah.
if I'm going to be there for that long anyway, if you have something to entertain me, that's great. I think it's great. I don't like the concept of making the show longer like they did at the Clash. I think it worked for the Clash, but
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to do it anywhere else. But I'm fine with it. I don't have a problem with it, especially if it's going to be an all day event for me anyway. And we were typical fans. We probably spent 9 or 10 hours at the track that day. So if you want to throw in a concert to entertain us, go for it. But now time for my parting comment, and I'm going to take this completely away from racing. I don't really mention a whole lot about what goes on at my job or how I put food on the table, but I am a consultant, and I won't go into the details of exactly what I do because it would bore you to death, and you'd tune out in about 30 seconds because you fell asleep. But anyway, that's what I try to do to put food on the table, and I'm kind of like at that point where I'm like, yeah, I can put food on the table and survive, but I'm not really up here where I'm thriving. I tell you that because this week I have a chance to be a guest speaker at a conference that is about 40 miles from my house. And it is a huge opportunity for me to show what I can do and impress some potential clients and go from that surviving level to that thriving level. So if you are the praying type or the good luck wishing type or the whatever, please say a prayer that this goes well for me and works out, or send me good luck or well wishes or whatever. But all your prayers would be greatly appreciated. I hope that this goes well, and I can kind of take this from a survive level to a thrive level. So thank you in advance for the support, everybody. That is my parting comment.
All right, and I guess my parting comment is that while NASCAR has for the most part done a pretty good job with the new car, even for its flaws, even for the tire issues, even for the mechanical issues. I mean, Vegas was a really good race from top to bottom for the Cup Series, as well as for the Xfinity and for the Truck Series. It feels like NASCAR is starting to get their racing package kind of back on track with not a lot of dominating cars out front. There's more parity in drivers in the sport now, where guys are taking their shot up front and possibly getting wins. And so I feel like NASCAR is starting to get back on the right track. And even though they still have a lot of work to do with trying to kind of get back into that golden age of like late 90s, early 2000s NASCAR, they still have a lot of work to do. I feel like they're slowly starting to get on the right path, even though I was one of the skeptics that said, yeah, this car is not, said, yeah, this is not going to work. I'm starting to really eat my words, and I hope I continue to eat them. Because while it sucks to be me, I'm glad NASCAR is finally getting on that path again. And so that would be my parting thoughts.
Well, always good to see NASCAR getting on the right track instead of the wrong track. But I mean, who doesn't want to tune in and see Eric Jones running the top 5 one week, and Ross Chastain one week, and Daniel Suarez, and these up and coming teams and up and coming drivers, and seeing them get up there? That's the underdog story, and that's the people proving themselves. I mean, even if you are a diehard Kyle Larson fan, you got to love seeing some of these underdogs running up front. I think it's great.
And I don't want these big teams to figure out something to make them, 10 miles an hour faster, so that way they go out and dominate these races. I want to see this all season for the next 15 years. I would be fine with it. I like seeing the drivers struggle with maintaining or holding on to their cars and actually having them drive the thing. So
we got to give a shout out to Adam Lauer's guy, Landon Castle, getting a chance in good equipment. Speaking of underdogs, driving for College Racing, bringing it home 6th place at Vegas. Way to go, Landon.
Absolutely. Did a good job. He, spinning down pit lane. He spun down pit lane and still finished 6th. So, awesome recovery.
All right, guys, I think we are done for the night. Thank you all for tuning in. Thanks for the comments. Thanks for playing along. Hope you guys had as much fun with it as we did. We are out of here next Tuesday, 9 o'clock. We will catch you then. Have a great week. Enjoy the Phoenix race weekend.
Peace out, everybody. Be safe.